What's up, Men's Physique fans, and welcome back to another video. We are just a few days out from the Arnold Classic to kick off this 2025 season, and we have some recent updates from some of those athletes who will be taking that stage in Columbus. And I'm going to give you guys on who I believe will be in that top 6 of the Arnold Classic lineup. And Ryan Terry hints at a potential retirement if the season doesn't go as he plans. And Sadik finally announces whether or not he will be competing in Men's Physique or Classic Physique. And I think it's safe to say that this decision might just shock you. And Vaughn Walker, a guy who was previously known as a social media influencer, then turned IFBB, is now officially making his pro debut, but in the Men's Physique division. This is going to be exciting. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy this video.
Grapevine, but I ain't hearing nothing great. No, they want to take it off from me, so I give what it takes. Whole life been a miracle, seen everything but a cape. Why would I stop now? Found everything on a journey, but another way. Look, I'm not.
If you guys remember, in the 2024 Arnold Classic, there was a dark horse, a guy who was on nobody's radar, a guy who was good but never seen as great, who truly made a name for himself by placing second and almost winning the Arnold Classic. And that was Vinicius Mateus. And I might give you guys 2 names who may not be in the running to win the show, but I truly believe could be in the running for giving these guys a true run for their money. Starting off with Ryan Clark. Here are a few recent updates from Ryan that truly just wowed me. Now, I have seen Ryan progress dramatically over the last couple of years, and that dramatic improvement has led him to now qualifying for the Olympia twice. But this show is a true win-win opportunity for Ryan because he is on nobody's radar in terms of potentially upsetting a lot of these top guys. But I do believe if Ryan comes in at his all-time best, which he is trending to do so, and maybe some of the top guys don't follow suit, he can easily be an assassin-like and move up in those ranks. Now, Ryan's physique is very, very balanced. He has great shoulders, great chest, great conditioning. He has a good back. And again, his midsection, his taper, his structure is just right where it needs to be for the Men's Physique division. He's not too big, he's not too small. And again, he's very complete from top to bottom. So it's physiques like this that can be truly damaging to those who are already in those top conversations, because if they come on a little bit off, again, Ryan is going to be that upsetter. He's going to be that dark horse that truly kicks in the door and moves up in the rankings. And a guy who I believe is probably one of the most underrated Men's Physique athletes in the current Men's Physique era is Gilberto Guillermo, because he has one of the best front shots that I have ever seen. I mean, his structure is immaculate. His chest fullness is there. His shoulders, his arms, his midsection. Guillermo might just be one of the most underrated athletes in the current day and age of Men's Physique. When you take a look at this front shot, there are not many in the league right now that can compare. Who has the full chest, shoulders, arms, and the midsection? I mean, his midsection is literally on par with Ali Bilal's, if not potentially better, because it's taller and it's a little bit more, streamlined in terms of, allowing his height to kind of exaggerate his overall taper in his midsection. He stands about 6 foot, and he again kind of has that fullness and that pop and that roundness throughout his entire physique, other than his back. And this is where I believe his strength had actually hurt him, because it is so much of a glaring difference between his front shot and his back shot. But in the recent updates that we have just seen, it's safe to say this man has dramatically improved his back compared to just last season. And we just saw him step on stage not that long ago at the Olympia. So if he can bring in a full round back that is somewhat comparable to not only the people in the call-outs, but also to his own front shot, there is no doubt in my mind Guillermo could easily be a dark horse and not just jump into the first call-outs, but jump into the top 5, maybe even top 3. Because again, look at his front shot compared to everybody else's. This man is on par. He just needs a back to complete his look. And if he can improve his back and show the improvements that he's made since the Olympia, again, this man is the true definition of a dark horse. So with that being said, I'm going to give you guys my predictions on who I believe will be top 6 at this year's Arnold Classic, starting off with number 6 and Ryan Clark. And again, there's not much to say here. I told you guys Ryan Clark has a very balanced look. He looks like he's trending to be the best he's ever been. He's extremely conditioned. He has the great structure. He has a lot of compact muscle. And with that, I think he's going to be able to edge out the majority of people in this lineup, putting him in that 6th place spot. And coming in at 5th place, we have Sid Poirier. Now, Sid and Ryan, I believe, are going to be a great battle, but the reason I have Sid edging out Ryan is simply because of Sid's back. Now, the one thing that Sid does need to improve on in his posing, and it looks like he has done that over the last season, but if he can do that and continuously separate himself from his previous self, he's going to be really hard to beat. He brings next level condition. He has the fullness in the chest, the arms, the shoulders. He has great conditioning and aesthetic midsection, great structure for a taller guy. And I believe that is another reason why he will kind of be head over heels in terms of taller and more broader and take up more space on the stage than Ryan. But I'm telling you guys, those two, they're going to be battling it out without a doubt. And coming in at 4th place, we have Vitor Chavez, another guy who's extremely consistent. And a lot of his recent updates have just been draw dropping as well. I think the biggest thing with Vitor is if he can keep his midsection tight, that's going to be an uncharted territory, because over the last couple of years, we've seen him put on a lot of size, but with that size causes a little bit of distension. But he's still getting better and actually improving in his placings. But if that one variable can be fixed, I'm telling you guys right now, Vitor really has it all. I know a lot of people out there either love his look or don't like his look. I'm one of those who actually like his look. So I do believe the conditioning will be there. The fullness will be there. He was maxed out at the Olympia. And again, he controls that one variable. I think he might get his get back with Ali Bilal, because I know he's been looking to do so. But all in all, I do believe Vitor Chavez will be coming in at 4th place. Now, I'd be lying if I said this top 3 wasn't the hardest top 3 to place. And with that, I've had my current number 1 at number 3 and 2. And then I also had my current 3rd, who at 1 at one point. So they've been all over the place. But coming in at 3rd place, I have your previous Arnold Classic champion in Diogo Montenegro. The updates from Diogo has just been absolutely mind-blowing. I've never seen Diogo look this condition this far out and still finding ways to improve with every single check-in, because his midsection is finally looking etched out. His structure is amongst the best in the IFBB, if not the best in men's physique. And again, his back, I think, is extremely underrated. And when you're standing next to people like Ali Bilal or Aaron, these are the guys that you really need to try to separate yourself through for your back. Because with Aaron, for example, if you stand next to him and your back is on par, you're going to be exposed. And when it comes to Ali Bilal, he has such a dominant front shot. If your back isn't on par, you're going to get left in the dust. So if he can do so, I think he's going to be dominant. But I do need to see him bring what he brought in that 2022 when he actually lost to Aaron Banks at the Arnold look, or at least what he brought last year. And if he can do that, I think him and the 2nd place finisher are going to be battling it out. But for now, Diogo coming in at number 3. And coming in at 2nd place, we have Ali Bilal. Now, Ali has one of the most aesthetic and just overwhelming front shots in all of the IFBB, and specifically men's physique division. I actually think that he has a better front shot than our current champion in Ryan Terry. His midsection, his separation, his conditioning, and he's posted some recent updates that truly showed his chest fuller. And if he can translate that onto the stage, then he will literally be complete. Now, people continuously talk about his structure, and I get it. He might not have the structure of a Diogo or an Aaron Banks, but what he does do is manipulate his waistline, his front shot so well that everything just flows seamlessly together. From his lower abdominal to his lats to his shoulders to his arms, like everything just kind of comes together. Now, there is some holes that need to be plugged in order for him to maybe win the Olympia one day, but it's kind of crazy to say that when he just placed 2nd. Regardless, I do believe Ali Bilal is going to be very hard to beat, and you have to be 100% against him to even make that an option. But what I do believe he lacks is the density and width through the back. He's improved his density a lot over the last year, but the width from left to right when standing next to somebody like Aaron Banks is going to be very, very hard to really just edge out. And when you think of men's physique, there's a front shot and there's a back shot. And I think we can all agree Aaron Banks, even when off, is going to win the back shot. So then it's going to come down to the front shot. And the reason why I have Aaron being crowned your 2025 Arnold Classic champion is because of the improvements that he's made to his front shot. If you take a look at some of the recent posts that Aaron's made, you can clearly see the difference in fullness. And we actually had a recent podcast with Sandy Williamson last year where we talked about kind of the improvements that Aaron needed to make and why he didn't place where he probably wanted to place, winning at the Olympia. And that was because of the chest fullness. That's what, according to Sandy, what she said. Now, I believe the differences from then to now are night and day. And because of that, I do think that's going to edge out Ali Bilal. And of course, the midsection separation is still going to be something that we need to see. But from some of the updates that we've also seen, he's significantly improved. So if he can bring in that fullness, if he can match the detail, well, maybe not match it, but if he can be on par with detail when it comes to Ali Bilal, I do believe the edge of the structure, the back, the added fullness will go to Aaron. But again, it's going to be a very, very close battle and won by a very small margin. And with that being said, you are now able to make your own predictions. If you head to mensphysiqueradio.com, you will now be able to predict on who you believe will fall into those top 6 places at this year's Arnold Classic. This is a very new predictions platform. This is going to be the opportunity to help bring the men's physique community a little bit closer together and also highlight some of our characters who are competing at these shows. We're not just doing it for the Arnold Classic. We're going to be doing it for the majority of the shows throughout the year. And very soon, we're going to add in prizes, whether it's from brands like my sponsors, whether it's Ghost, Alfleet, my own company in Manifest. We're going to be aiming to give back to the division while also highlighting our athletes a little bit more and getting our fans a little bit more involved into the actual shows. And we're going to be adding so many cool little nuances to the actual platform. So if you can, again, please head over to mensphysiqueradio.com, make your own predictions, screenshot your predictions, and make sure you tag us to see whether or not you will not only get reposted, but who wins. Because we're going to have a leaderboard. We're going to have a lot of cool things added. And I'm telling you guys right now, this is going to help revolutionize the men's physique division. In a recent YouTube video from Sadik, he announced whether or not he's going to continue his future in men's physique or go back to classic physique, a question we've been asking ourselves ever since he stepped off stage at the Tampa Pro. So let's watch the video and see what he has to say.
So the only other option here is I have 2 options. Either number 1, don't compete and just post videos, which is gay, or go into the bigger division, be one of the smaller guys in classic, but still competitive because I have great shape, great structure, small waist, big legs. I have a lot of great attributes. The goal here isn't to go to classic and win the Olympia, you know. The goal here is do classic and do well, because I just love the sport of bodybuilding. I love being competitive. I love pushing myself. I love having something to work for and strive for every single day.
So there you have it. In Sadik's head, while making these decisions, there was only 2 options. 1, don't compete. 2, switch to classic. And it looks like he is not done and ready to hang up his competitive career, and he's going to make that transition into classic. He also said he is probably going to be one of the smaller guys. And in a division like classic, he might be able to get away with it a little bit. But in the men's physique division, you know, he is one of the bigger guys, you know, bigger individual. And that was also a sucked down version of him, a guy trying to make a weight cap for the first time, which really brought his physique from that crazy pop that we've seen in the updates leading into his preps to kind of a lesser, you know, more underwhelming version of him when he actually touched the stage. So I want you guys to imagine a full maxed out version of Sadik, you know, with the added muscle slash, you know, the added fullness that he'll have simply just from not ripping it all away in the final weeks of the show. And then from there, stepping on stage and showing off the wheels, because if you guys remember, Sadik was already competing in classic physique after he retired from men's physique and actually placed pretty well at the Olympia. And then he decided to come back to men's physique after he took some time off, and now he was going back to classic physique. And I do think this is a good transition for him. Like, people forget, like, he has been around for a long time. He is a veteran, and as much as I would love to have him in the men's physique division, he just wasn't able to bring the looks that he was kind of known for, you know, whether it was the detail separation, and now kind of not putting a cap on his physique. I do believe he's going to allow him to elevate and take him to the next level, and I'm excited for him, man. He's coming out with a new business. He had, you know, a family, and he just has a lot of good things going for him, and he's cool to see that he's just in love with competing. Like, he doesn't have to compete. Like, he's one of those guys who don't. He has enough money, I'm sure, in all other ventures that he has to just be a happy family guy, but instead, he's not done with the sport. He loves bodybuilding, and it's cool to see him continuously investing back in himself. I'm sure he'll stay healthy. He's been down those roads where he wasn't, so I'm sure he knows what to do now. But all in all, it's official. Sadik will be making that transition into classic physique. Okay, so completely off topic, but another guy who recently made his transition from men's physique to classic physique will be also making his pro debut at the Pittsburgh Pro. Now, I know I don't cover classic physique, but for Kiki, I think we'll make an exception. If you take a look at some of the most recent updates from Kiki Pro, I just can't even imagine this body fitting in board shorts, even 10 pounds or less. This man looks absolutely insane. Like, this, you guys talk about like top tier genetics. This is it. This is it. And they don't all just come from Africa. They come from the UK or Brazil, wherever he came from. He looks absolutely insane. I have never seen a guy who has been able to put on as much muscle as he has in a short time. And I am telling you right now, there's a lot of big names doing the Pittsburgh Pro. You know, I'm sure Matt Grego will jump into it. You know, we have Terrence Ruffin jumping back in. Who knows? Mike Summerfield will probably come. But Kiki has the opportunity to stand toe-to-toe with these guys and give them a true run for their money. I think this is going to be a hell of a battle. I think this man is going to come out of the woodworks and just kick the damn door in Classic. And like I said, just can't even imagine this guy in board shorts anymore. But nonetheless, Kiki Pro is fucking coming. Ryan Terry is 36 years old. He has completely took over the men's physique division over the last couple of years, now being currently our 2-time reigning men's physique champion. But he has been around since the origin of men's physique. He has been competing continuously, and there was rumors that if he didn't win his first Olympia, he was actually going to hang it up. And I remember talking to him on our podcast, and that was in his mind. And the fact that he has now won back-to-back, he just came out with a video with Chris Bumstead while they were talking. And keep in mind, Chris has just retired. And they're saying when he would hang it up. So let's take a listen.
Do you start thinking about the end game? What's after competing?
Yeah.
And that's like reality now, isn't it?
And you're already thinking about it, even though you're still in it? Or?
Yeah, no, I'm still in it, yeah. I've got a number or something in my head, but you now know there's an end game. Whereas before, it was always like, I'll do one more year because I can get to it, or I can do this. Whereas now you're like, that can be taken away from you. If I ever lost the title, or yeah, that'll be it.
For sure.
I'd never try and go back and win it again.
Yeah.
So
there you have it. If Ryan loses his title this year at the 2025 Olympia, he will be retiring. And I'm actually trying to sit here and think, okay, is it a likely chance that he loses it? Like, where would I put my money on? And that's kind of the crazy part, because if you think back to it, you know, we have Aaron Banks, a guy who did not show up at his best. But if he did show up at his best, I mean, he's already shown that he could beat Ryan. And then we have Ali Bilal, a guy who was on his tail last year, and he is only going to improve. Now, yes, he has a weight cap that he has to, worry about, but he has found a way to do it in the past, and he's going to find a way to do it again. But then we have Brandon. We cannot forget that, right? Brandon has just taken a back seat last year in competing, and I'm sure he's hungrier than ever to go get that title back, and he's coming. So it's kind of crazy to think that with all of these guys coming back and a lot of these guys hungry to, whether it's to right a wrong, whether it's to make a name for themselves or to simply just, get their title back, there's a lot of guys hungry. And we can't forget about the Yogo, Emmanuel Hunter, right? There's got to be guys on his ass, but also Ryan wasn't his best at last year's Olympia, so there's going to be a lot of things up in the air, man. I think this truly is like a 50-50 chance, like a true 50-50 chance. Because if Ryan could just improve on what he did last year and almost bring that 2023 look, I think he's going to be really hard to beat. But then, we have Brandon. Yes, he did beat Brandon in that 23 Olympia, but you never know with him, man. Like, he's one of those guys where if he can make a small adjustment, he's like fucking the best ever. I mean, I think he is the best men's physique athlete ever. So when you have people like that on his ass, and you have people like Aaron with such a high ceiling, and Ali Bilal, young, hungry, and even people like I said, Diogo and Emmanuel, you guys truly never know. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. Will this be Ryan Terry's last year competing? And if so, who do you think is going to take the crown over? Early Olympia predictions. Let's hear them in the comments below. Vaughn Walker has absolutely blown up on social media a few years back for simply having an insane physique. And 2 years ago, when he competed at the Universe, he earned his IFBB Pro card. So he went from influencer to pro card, and then now he is going to be stepping on stage making his pro debut. Now, I reached out to him. I asked him, what division will you be competing in? And this man said men's physique. So you guys will probably imagine the smile that came across my face, because not only have I known Vaughn for a long time, I actually had a personal relationship with him, but I've seen his progression from where he started to where he is. And as a guy who loves bodybuilding, I think a lot of times the social media guys come in for the wrong reasons, but I do believe Vaughn, he's coming for the right reasons. And this guy has an insane physique. He has a lot of density for his age. He has a lot of fullness, just an aesthetic look, like one of those looks that I would want on the beach. You know what I mean? But regardless, Vaughn Walker has now teamed back up with Coach Kyle Wilkes, and is looking to make that run at a potential Olympia qualification. I don't know if that's too far-fetched. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to do it, but I mean, his physique is blown up on socials for a reason. He got his pro card pretty easily for a reason, and now making his pro debut at such a young age, I do think this man has an opportunity to shock a lot of people. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. Comment below. Do you guys think Vaughn is going to make some noise at a pro debut? I believe he's roughly about maybe 13, 14 weeks out at this point, but comment below. Before we get out of here, let's take a quick trip around the league and highlight a handful of athletes who have been dropping some recent updates. Starting off with Vaughn Walker. Last video, I highlighted that Vaughn is making a comeback in 2025, and I think he might have watched that video because we got another update a few days ago, and this man is looking big. Bigger than I've ever seen Vaughn. And I'm curious to know if this man can keep this size, but get to that next level of conditioning that he has had in the past. Do you guys think that Vaughn is going to be one of those guys who can truly take over the men's physique division? I mean, this guy's a previous Olympian, a multi-time Olympian. He has, again, a whole country behind him. I think that Vaughn might just be able to do it. I think he's going to get back to the Olympia this year, but I think that he's finally going to be able to break into the top 15 if he does so. Again, this back looks significantly improved. We know him for having a good structure. You know, he's always been just a smaller guy, right? So if he can come in a little bit more density, keep that back, come in that condition, again, he's going to qualify. Now, the matter of from there, will he break into that top 15? I think so. And another guy we covered in the last video, Andre Dayu. He might have watched my video because that man is just posting physique updates after physique updates after physique updates. This posing video really truly shows how conditioned he is just 13, 14 weeks out from the Pittsburgh Pro. Just absolutely insane. It's safe to say this man is making a comeback, right? The biggest thing that knocked him in the past was his size in his arms and the unesthetic midsection, right? And I think that it has improved, at least the arm size. I mean, it's still big, but it's not like overpowering like it used to be. And I think coming off of all the PEDs in the past have allowed his body just to kind of, you know, just revamp itself to a small degree. Maybe he stopped training arms during that time, continued to train other muscle groups, and it just looks more imbalanced. Then his conditioning at this far out is nuts. So you can only imagine as he continues to peel back these layers, how his physique is going to come to life. Because when I first saw him, like 3-4 weeks ago, compared to what I'm seeing here now, it looks already dramatically different. So again, another guy to keep an eye out for. And last but certainly not least, we have official confirmation from Drew Cullen that he is 15 weeks out from stepping on stage at the Toronto Pro, where he won last season and earned his Olympia qualification. So he is coming to be the two-time Toronto Pro champion. I'm curious to know what you guys think of his most recent updates. He is looking big, and we all know that he has one of the best front shots in men's physique, at least top fucking 7, 8. I think we can all agree. But when you take a look at the back, has always been something that was just glaring, right? We needed to see some improvement. And if he can do that, if he can just, almost like a Guillermo situation, right? If he can kind of just close the gap between his front shot and his back shot, there's not many people that can stand next to him because he has that elite level of conditioning that it will expose so many people. And then he has such an aesthetic front shot, a great structure. He controls his angles, his posing really well. But again, it's going to be that back. And if he can do that, I know I wouldn't want to stand next to him. But all in all, Drew Cullen's updates look absolutely insane. I'm so excited to see what this man does this season. And now that you're caught up on all things men's physique, I wanted to thank each and every single one of you who reached out regarding my online coaching availability from last video. I am now opening up 3 additional roster spots. So if you're looking to step on stage for the first time, get nationally qualified, or earn your IFBB Pro card, or maybe just shut it down and focus on putting on some quality tissue to be competitive in a future show, I am now taking on additional clients. Make sure you click the link below, and I can promise you this will not be easy. I am not looking for people who are 1 foot in and 1 foot out. If you want to be the best version of yourself, make sure you click the link below. I will reach out to you guys within the first 24 hours. As always, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Do not forget, mensphysiqueradio.com. Go make your predictions. This is a perfect opportunity to continue to uplift the men's physique division. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Peace.
Got my name in stone.